Welcome, everyone. And I would like to just say thank you for coming to another Give Back series that I have started doing here. The feedback has been phenomenal. And like all of the feedback series interviewees that I've been doing, they're handpicked. And I'm only bringing on people that I believe and know that they have a value to the community in a very direct way, a very applicable way that you can implement things in your business right away to get a result. And today is no different. I love saying this. Dr. Ingrid Pyka is with us. That's an old joke that we won't go into today, but Ingrid has been a client. She has been a compatriot. She has been a partner in doing some programs, and she is one of the best business strategists I know on the planet. And so one of the things that I wanted to do is really bring this topic to the Facebook give back because you know we can have the best product or service in the world, but if we're not branding and marketing that product or service in a way that is going to get the attention of our perfect client, no one's going to benefit from it. So very quickly, hi Ingrid, how are you?
Good, Gary. Thank you so much for having me on this wonderful Give Back program that you put on. I've been watching your other programs. They've been always fantastic information and super give back. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And it really is the participation of everyone that is coming on and then sharing these programs. It's really amazing. But let's get right into it. When we talk about marketing and branding, what is the real difference? Because I think there is a confusion sometimes for the business owner, entrepreneur, sales professional about, okay, am I going to do branding? And I thought I was branding and it's marketing. Or so what is your definition so we can separate out that concept right at the beginning?
Right. And it's a very good question, Gary, because it is the fundamental component of any kind of a marketing plan. The branding itself is who you are. It's your identity. It's really what you represent as an imagery and as an experience. It evokes emotion to your audience. It provides an ability for them to recall and identify you and trust you, which then in turn leads into that decision making that they have. So the more often that they know who you are as an identity, they know clearly that's Gary. I see that jumping man. That's who I want to identify with. That's what I want to see. Bingo, there's the swoosh that we all know so well from Nike. Just do it. I know that's a shoe and I know that's sports apparel. So it's something that's very easily identifiable to your identity.
So go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So the marketing on the flip side of that is the ability to bring an awareness of that brand to your audience. In other words, it's your delivery, it's how you're seen, it's how what are the special aspects either of your company or of the products or the services that you're now providing out to them. And it's that delivery is the marketing.
So I know people really struggle with particularly the brand, because that's really the first thing, because if you don't have the brand, there is nothing to market, or your marketing is different every single time that people see you. I just had an experience that I had gone onto a Facebook Live with someone in Florida yesterday, and they saw me pop up, and all of a sudden they were, for a minute and a half, they were talking about me and, giving me these kudos and shout outs and whatever. And here's where the interesting thing is. They go, if you don't know the Beaver story, you need to connect with Gary about the Beaver story. And that goes back to branding. It goes back to that imagery. It goes back to that swoosh, as you said. So how do people, what do they need to do, or the steps, in order to really look at what a brand would be for them? And it's not to, anyway, I'll just shut up and let you talk.
No, no.
I could go on. The question really, evolves because it's something you don't want to change it normally every week or every month or every year. And so people are really, I think, afraid of picking something and then having it not work.
Well, in the component of a brand is, again, as I had said earlier, it is your identity. So it has to be something that you feel comfortable with, as in that it demonstrates who you are, what your company represents. We talked about emotion. We talked about the experience. Now, do you want to have a professional appearance where it is very straightforward and crisp and clear colors, or do you want to have it whimsical, creative flow? It has to do with what you're providing and then what that representation is that you have. We may look at one coach that is working on business strategies or so, and they have a very crisp, yet we have someone that's working with children, they'll have paintbrushes and light colors that are just really attractive to that. So it's very different as to who everyone is. Now remember, yes, you can be a brand and you can change it in the future. I mean, I tell you, I've gone through that, and I've had different parts of my company where I have different brands for the different components of what I provide. And I've worked with clients where they're not sure which colors to use. And then we altered it based on client responses and surveys. So it's not just about what you feel. You have to also recognize your market and your audience. What are they looking for? And ask them. So a big part of developing your brand is putting something out there and letting your market tell you what they like best. And you'll oftentimes change it. Look at the Coca-Cola brand. That has changed through the years. Look at McDonald's. That has changed through the years. Lots of abilities for you to flex and evolve. At first, really sit down on what it is and who you are. And that brand really needs to stick with you throughout your entire company. Think about Mrs. Fields. So fresh baked, gourmet. She's got the same colors and so forth, and pictures of the beautiful looking cookies. And what happens when you walk into the strip malls or the big shopping malls and you walk in and you what? You smell the chocolate chip cookies, which is again promoting the brand of fresh baked cookies. So when you have your brand, think of all those senses of what you may evoke: the sight, the smell, the sound, the experience, the touch, all of it. Bring it all together.
And it goes back to what you were saying, it creates an emotion.
Yeah. So one challenge that I might throw out here right now for anyone who's watching this is take a moment and write down 3 just really specific things about your company. What are the values that you portray? What is something unique about your service or your product? Or what is the result of the service or product? And see if your brand reflects that.
You know, one of the things that Sharon, my wife, who you know, if we're watching TV and we see an ad, there's often the time that we finish with the ad and we look at each other and go, we're not their target market.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, that does. And there's a couple of ads that have been running for a long time. They are just plain stupid. And the company employees don't even like them. But they've been bought into this weird stuff. But so really what you're saying is to take the time to not only say, well, I like it, but will it draw in the person that I'm wanting to connect to?
Yeah.
So it's really the bridge. Your brand is the bridge between you and your perfect client. Am I getting that right?
That sounds like a great comparative. I love that analogy, Gary.
See, now you can keep it. give me credit.
The brand bridge.
So let's switch gears here a little bit, because I always want to keep these give backs to around 25 minutes, 30 minutes tops. Let's switch to marketing. So what are the marketing strategies that you're finding, particularly now that we're, in a transition, we're in a challenging economy. And what I have really looked at for me is that most economies are challenging in some way. And so just because we have some specifics that we're dealing with right now doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to adjust to these marketing strategies in the future. So what do you think about that?
Very well put. And one thing we need to consider at all times, regardless of where we are in an economy, it always is changing. The marketing plan is a part of a business strategy. So you have a business plan and it may be changing with various components in our current world, or a future world, but that's the norm in business. And that's why I keep talking about business as unusual. We have to be cognizant and already anticipating what's next. And when we can't anticipate, at least still say, okay, what can we change and adapt? So the marketing strategy itself is the big picture for the marketing plan. And everything that you're doing will be little itty bitty marketing plans for all of your components, whether you're creating a marketing strategy to make an awareness of your brand, or if you're creating a marketing strategy to bring forth a special feature highlight of a service that you may be promoting at the moment, or a new product that you're releasing. And each of those is, you have to be very clear as to what are you marketing at the moment? What is it? And you keep chunking it down. If you're saying, well, I'm marketing my business, that's a pretty vague, broad. So let's bring it down and saying, you know what, right now, we're going to be marketing and sharing about these, for example, this wonderful program, the Give Back programs that you have, Gary. How can we promote and share with people about the Give Back programs and select our messaging so that this is the only thing that they're hearing about, and the audience doesn't get confused. So once you have that clarity of what you're marketing, now you develop the strategy of how to market that. In other words, what are people now looking for? What are they going to hear? What are they going to see? How are you delivering this particular product or service so that they get it? So let's use an example. For example, let's say, okay, you offer soft drinks, right? So we make soft drinks. Well, okay, so does everybody else. So first of all, you need to understand what is the soft drink. Now, what is the messaging on what makes someone feel thirsty? Why would they be thirsty? Well, what then with the next step is, well, not only are they thirsty, but how can you evoke that emotion of, here's this amazing right place, right time for a juicy, just thirst quenching delivery of this drink that you gotta have, and how are they gonna find it and get it fast? So that's the progression of all that, real specific of marketing strategy. So
when, there's so many different things that we can do. So when you look at, do I do Facebook ads? Do I do direct mail? Do I, when we start the implementation of the marketing, do you have a recommendation about how many different areas that you use to implement the marketing, or is it just one, or do you do 50 of them?
Yes. It's so dependent on every company, where they are, what they are able and capable of. The biggest thing is to be constant with the brand as you're creating that marketing component. And we need to recognize that the return on investment has to remain in a positive. Not only in the money, that's the first thing we think about. Well, how much money are we pouring and how much money are we getting back? It also has to be a positive in return on investment of your time, of your energy, of all the resources you're pulling in. What are you getting out of that? And it may not be financial that you're getting in return. It may be visibility. It may be credibility that you create. And as you choose, you go on social media, do you do print flyers, do you do LinkedIn or any other of those factors, or blogging or books, right? It really comes down, and when I'm working with someone on this is what is the general outcome that you want, and what can you, with the resources you have right now, what can you reasonably accomplish and fulfill and get that viable response back.
So it really sounds somewhat like the Stephen Covey start with the end in mind.
Yeah.
As you're building a jigsaw puzzle, if you're building this picture of how do all of these different elements fit together.
Yep.
Now,
and elements that you can actually attain.
Yes. So as I say that, I am feeling like people that are watching us right now are going, oh, that sounds really complicated. Is it? Is it something that people should be overwhelmed by, or what, a process that you would, really encourage people to do with this?
Yeah, it really comes down to, like you said, begin with the end in mind and just simplify it. Make it a small goal. Make it something that is just out of your reach. And then we come together and we build those blocks. What will make that accomplishable? What will make that attainable? And it's a strategy. It's that return on investment, what you expect. And then it's also, how are you going to make that happen? And create those benchmarks for yourself. That's really what it is. Create those benchmarks, the timeline of when you want to create those by, as you always say, right? There are no deadlines, just get it done by, because then you can always win early. And then revisit that. Just revisit, make sure you're going by that, your own accountability.
Yeah, it goes back to a concept that I've talked about is momentum does not mean speed, it means movement.
Yeah.
And so everybody's going to have a different timeline and different availability of what they do. But
Exactly.
from what, sometimes when we think about branding and marketing, we think of it being a little bit boring rather than some of the other things we might do. But this is the place that if we don't do this well, we're going to be spinning our wheels and people get frustrated and they think it doesn't work, but this is so critical. So is there a better time to market than others? In a stressful economy, a booming economy, I mean, what is the best time?
Again, yes, always. And the better time is going back to what are the resources that you have available to you to get those results that you want. We have to always be on a forward moving march to grow our business and to make that value that every business can provide to its market, to its audience, to its clients and customers. Bring that value to them, and how can you do that in the fastest, most economical way and still have a viable business entity for you? How can you gain and be in the black? How can you get the positives back, as well as providing it in a reasonable way to your clients? So that starts now.
Now, so I'm going to ask you an emotional question that I get a lot from my coaching clients is that, okay, I want to launch, I teach the launch and adjust, and there is a fear that comes up. What if it doesn't work? How do you get people past that?
It's all about, let's put the emotion aside for a moment. And this is where I love working analytically, and you and I have had many conversations on this. And I keep breaking it down to the questions: how, why, where, what, when. And when you put it to those specific questions, the emotion suddenly starts to fall away, and it takes with it the fear, and the fear floats because the more reasonable that we have our strategies built, and it suddenly goes, oh my gosh, well, I can do this, I can do that. Most of the fear that we have is because we don't know what's on the other side, or how do we jump over the wall? Well, you don't need to jump over the wall. What if we build you a door? What if we provide you a ladder? What if you don't even need the wall because you're going to go in another way? It comes in. But so just chunking it down, and that's why earlier when I mentioned, bring yourself 3 things of what your brand may evoke to you. The same goes with your marketing plan. Break it down to what are sort of 3 things you want to do right now, or even simpler. What's one thing you want to sell that your clients will want to invest in?
Right.
Just one thing, and then it comes to, so how are you going to do that? Breaking it down.
So what I'm hearing is it's not a right, wrong, good or bad connection. It's, does it fit? Does it work? Is it connecting? Is it giving me the analytics that's telling me, yes, this is something I want to do again?
Yeah. Well, Gary, you say it so well always. You always say, launch and adjust, right? That's all that it is. It's your lesson, same thing.
It's a process. So we're going to take a quick minute here because I ask everyone that comes onto these programs to be willing to give away something. And guys, it's again a true giveaway. There is no bait and switch. There is no, hidden sales, quick. But wait, there's, none of that stuff is going on. So Ingrid, would you share what you have and how they can connect with you to get it?
Absolutely. So I have an entire checklist. And I have one that's customized to authors, and I also have one that's customized to entrepreneurs. And I want to be able to customize what you need. If you would like to have a checklist of marketing concepts to do so that you can promote and brand your company or your book, just send me your email, or I will have my email listed. Just send me a quick email or call me, either way, and I will send you what is best for you. In addition to that, I'd like to go ahead and offer, when you choose any one of those checkmark things, because I'll tell you, there's a lot on here, but any one of those that you would like to address, let's schedule. I'd like to do this as a give back to help people move forward. I'd like to help you with one of those components and strategize with you with a free call, like a 20-30 minute call on how you can get that one step done. Wow. Happy to do that. I'll put my link down for my email, and then you can just reach out to me and we'll get that form. This is about what you need the most. I'm excited to help.
So this will be in the thread, so look for that. I really recommend. I mean, all of the guests that I'm coming on, I'd like you to look at that as a service directory, that these are people that I know, that I trust, and being able to really receive an immediate benefit from that. So thank you for that. So we're going to do a couple of more things before we let everyone go. I'm going to ask you to give 3 walk away tips for people to actually engage in right now. And then we're going to wrap up with looking at if there's any questions that you guys have that are live on the call. Go ahead and put them in the thread on the Facebook feed there, and then we'll do that at the very end. So will you give us our marching orders? What are the 3 things that you would like us to do right now?
Absolutely. What is one thing right now that you would like to offer to your client? What is one thing that you're going to do to let your client know you exist? And when are you going to do that? What's the date? So one thing you're going to offer to your client, or already do, either way, just clarifying it. What's one thing that you are going to be able to do to let them know that this thing is out there? And when is that? Put it under the comments here. Let's go ahead and share. And this is a great way for you to let people know what you do and connect. We'd love to see that, and make those dates when you're going to get it done by, because if you've worked with me before, you know I will hound you until you get it done, because that's how you
So, and I was just going to say that, put it in the thread, because this is a community that I really have a desire to interconnect you guys with each other. And you putting that out there on the thread and being willing to, take the risk of sharing what you're doing and how you're wanting to do it, you may find that perfect synergy partner as well that actually we talked about on the Sarah Kaderi Give Back program yesterday. And because we're not lone wolves, we're going together. So so I'd like you to look, Ingrid, are there any questions on the Facebook feed?
Looking at here, if any of you have any questions, go ahead and pop them on here, and happy to address that with you. If it goes beyond our time limit is here, I want to be respectful of your time, Gary. Then again, we're happy to connect outside of the call. Gerline says, thanks a million. Yay. Sabrina, hello. And then Gerline, you're doing great on that. Hello, Shelly and Deborah. Personal touch with healing. Oh, okay. So Gerline says she does counseling service through personal touch and healing. So soon, after a few days, I would love to give back to the society. Fantastic. Gerline, what does a few days mean? Sorry, yeah, you guys know that one. Sabrina, got your email. Awesome. And you're also an author for Sabrina. Woohoo! So, Gerline, if you could write in there what time or date that you're going to be able to do that, and then we want to see more of it. So that would be great. I don't see any other questions at the moment.
So everybody, this is a live feed that we'll continue to monitor, and Ingrid will. So put your questions in there, put your accountability, what you're going to do on those three things. If you have questions for me, I actually forgot, because see, I do this as a give back. I forget to say who I am for those of you that may not know. I'm Gary Barnes, GaryBarnesInternational.com. And if you have any questions or feedback for me, you can email me directly at Gary@GaryBarnesInternational.com as well. So Ingrid, any last parting thoughts?
We are going to make this, and we all have the success that we build on our own volition. We can do this. Yes, we can.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Ingrid, for your time today. I know it's very valuable and you're extremely busy. And everyone that has been here live, if you're watching later on as on the replay, please let us know that you're on a replay, and connect with everyone here and with Ingrid and myself. And we'll see you on the next Give Back live Facebook video. See you later.
Thank you.